All right, let's talk about the coolest guy in the history of the NBA, or so he thinks. Last season, my man LeBron James passed, of course, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar February 7th to become the NBA's all-time leading scorer. He led the Lakers past Memphis in 6 in the first round, and then past Golden State in 6 in the second round. But the Lakers, of course, got swept in the conference finals by the eventual champs, the Denver Nuggets. So, Richard, you and Key grew up here in L.A. You're both big Laker fans, but I'm going to start with you, Mr. Sherman. What do you expect from LeBron as he hits age 39 in year 21?
The same thing we expected the other 20 years, Skip.
The very same thing?
The king. Well, I mean, last year, Skip, in his 20th year, averaged 28.9 points, 8.3 rebounds.
Yep.
Like, he was dominant. We talk about him in the playoffs. You know, you say Father Time, Mother Nature, they all catch you eventually.
They do.
But he was coming off of an injury. So when he got in those playoffs, he was still injured, but he still played well. He played well in the Memphis series, but only averaged 22 points, but he improved that.
I thought he played very well.
Every round,
yes,
he improved.
Did. I got it, until Denver.
Even the Denver series that you give him so much gripe for.
You know what? Yeah.
He almost averaged a triple-double with 27.7. It's the standard that you're holding to is insanity. Imagine averaging 27.7, 9.5 rebounds, 10 assists on 51% shooting, and you saying he had a bad series. He had a bad series. That's a bad series. You got to be a bad man for that to be a bad series.
I will bite my tongue until I hear from Keyshawn.
Well, Richard basically echoed what I was probably going to say to a degree. I'll just focus in on the Denver situation. First of all, the altitude was an issue. Okay, it was an. Don't roll your eyes. Don't roll your eyes.
It's always an issue.
Yes, that's why they want home
LeBron's
court
played
advantage.
there 150 times.
That's why they want home court advantage in Denver. Okay. That was an issue. But if you look at his overall regular season, like you said, Sharon, close to 29 points a game, 20 seasons. Okay, at some point in the year, we was talking about him at the beginning of the year as a possible MVP.
Yeah.
Okay. Then he gets an ankle injury. Then his foot, he dealt with foot injuries. He missed 27 games.
Is that Father Time tapping you on the shoulder?
It's not Father Time tapping you on the shoulders. It just happens to be at a situation where you get an injury. We all know if LeBron James stays healthy, he is going to be one of the top 5 or 6 players in all of the NBA. And depending on who you're having a conversation with, they may even put him at number 1. Just depends on who you're talking to.
Okay, so you think he's an MVP candidate going into this year? All right.
Healthy? 100%.
Okay.
100%. One of the things that he's adapted and learned how to do now is change his game.
And that's it, right?
He's changing his game.
That's it.
And so when we saw LeBron in his younger days, he was doing something totally different than he is now.
Right.
Okay, the offense doesn't always have to go through him the way that it did before.
Thank you.
He's obviously a point guard now to a degree. But when he needs to get on the blocks as a power forward, he can. Don't tell me anything about he's not clutch. Don't tell me anything about his three-point shooting. We're never going to say Steph Curry is shooting threes. We're never going to say that. Everybody criticizes him like, oh, he should take that shot. No, he should just make the right play. That's what he should do. And he's been able to do that.
You don't
he
hear
took the Laker team that everybody was dumping on until they made the trades to the Western Conference Finals.
At the trade.
Think about it.
Think about what Rob Pelinka did at the deadline.
But I'm not saying Rob Pelinka didn't do a good job. I'm just saying, here's a team that got a whole new crew of guys in a short period of time. This isn't, in the NBA, it's not halfway point, even though we say halfway point. It's less than a halfway point after they trade, then you get to the playoffs. He was able to take all those guys that they brought, put them together, and will their way to the Western Conference Final.
And the way,
Come on, man, stop.
The way to best describe this is, for Skip and everybody, what LeBron did last year, Michael Jordan couldn't do. Period. He could not do. He couldn't take a late group, grabbing them, bringing them together, and take that group and melt them together to be a team to go on a run like that.
You mean at age 38 or ever?
Well, at age 38, Jordan was somewhere playing golf. And
that's a great question, and let me tell you why. I don't know if ever. I think ever would be, because at 38,
Michael,
that's what. Let me tell you what. Michael was a great individual
We're about to get
talent.
struck by lightning.
Michael was a great
I'm moving out of the way because it's coming through the ceiling.
He was a great individual talent. Great individual talent.
Just uttered
but the guys that Michael Jordan was with, they understood how he is. They understood how he was, and they dealt with it. You take Michael out of that locker room, put him in another locker room, I just don't know if all those guys run with him the same. I'm talking about especially later in his career. You can put LeBron anywhere on any team. He's an agent himself. He's going to put a team together, and he's a great leader, and he can play the point. His skills don't erode to a place where he can't lift the team. Jordan only lifts a team with his individual skill, his play,
the greatest skill ever.
It does, but that's going to diminish, and as that diminishes,
but it didn't diminish through 35, through 6 championships and 6 Finals MVPs. Yeah. I've never seen anything like it. I was there. I covered it. I know him.
When he was this age, when he's LeBron age, he's not playing.
He quit on principle. His coach got pushed out the door, and he said, "I quit."
At 38 years old, though. I love Jordan. I love Jordan just like you do, Skip. But at 38, LeBron James is doing something different.
Okay. And his skill set says he can do it. He can go play the point, like you told him, and still take those little point guards to the basket.
Played the 5 at times. He even played the 5 at times last year during the playoffs.
Right. And he can do that. That's why he can play. He's got much room to play.
Think about it. Anthony Davis missed 26 games for him last year.
All right.
If those dudes stay healthy, Skip, you got to be careful.
And everybody on that Laker team played up because of LeBron James.
Okay, I give you that. I always say he is still, to this moment, the best passer in basketball. He is still the greatest driver of the basketball ever, and it ain't even close, which is why at the end of games I say, just put your head down. He finally did. I'm going to get to it in a second here. He finally did in the 4th game against Denver. But usually he pulls up and jacks up threes because he's scared to death of the late game free throw line. I can show you 1,000 times. That is the God's truth. I can show you. Nobody, since LeBron broke into this league, nobody has missed more late game, close game free throws than LeBron James. He is. That is.
Do you know why you miss free throws, Skip?
Yeah, because you're going like this.
No, that's not. Come on, man. You miss free throws. You miss free throws at times late in games when you're 37, 38 years old because your legs are not underneath
but he's always been like that.
LeBron's always been.
Keyshawn is not.
23, LeBron bad at shooting free throws. They got nothing to do with the leg.
But he's saying late in games. He's saying late in games. Yes, he misses free throws. He's always done it. But late in games, his legs are not underneath it. Okay. Then you say he pulls up. He realizes I can't blow past this guy the same way I used to. So he takes that shot.
You're going to get the call. You're going to get to the line. But here's the problem. You realize in these past playoffs, he missed an NBA playoff record 20 straight three-point shots. Everybody just swept that under the rug. 20 straight threes. He's a lousy three-point shooter. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I told you that already. I said I told you he's not a great three-point shooter. But he's pulling up from the 3 because he doesn't trust blowing past people.
Now, I'm going to give you this. I give Richard this. He went on a tear, the likes of which I have never, ever seen, especially from a 38-year-old.
In Denver.
From his birthday. From his birthday, December 30th, through February 7th, when he passed Kareem. It took my breath away on a nightly basis. He just said, watch this.
Yeah.
You can argue that nobody can score different ways more than he can, because when he puts his head down in his mind to it.
He play all positions.
Hey, he's 6'8", he's like 270. I don't know, he can post, he can do whatever he wants on a basketball court.
You got to give him, to Mike's point, you got to give him credit for what they did after that trade deadline.
Wait a second, though. But wait. So he goes on this tear, and he averages 34, 9, and 8 to pass Kareem. And then he hits the psychological and physical wall because he's 38 years of age. So he misses a bunch of games. He played 10 out of the last 26 games. So he's refreshed for Memphis, and he's refreshed for Golden State. And then we get to Denver, and if you want to go mile-high altitude, I'll give you that half of an excuse. But here's my problem. all year long, they did not have a closer. I don't know how closely you watch their games, but we don't have time because you guys talk too much, and so I can't. I've run out of time here. I did. Yes, you talk too much. But the point is, I can show you a dozen games last year that are begging to be closed, and it's not his nature to close games. It's not his forte. So, and I detail them for you, but we don't have time.
It's not his forte.
Okay, because I can just show you what happened. Look, there was a game against Indiana early. They're up 17 on Indiana in November, and he scores. He goes 2 of 8 down the stretch, and they don't close. Okay, so now we get to Denver. They've got the eventual champs on the ropes 4 straight times. 4 straight times going to the fourth quarter. They are right there. And what does LeBron James do in the 4 fourth quarters? He goes 7 of 23. Is that good? 7 of 23? Guess what he does from 3? 1 of 10 through the 4 fourth quarters combined. And we get to the end of game 4. You still got one last hurrah. And LeBron, to his credit, says, okay, give me the ball, and I'm going to try this. And I'll show you real quick the 2 plays.
He was dead.
Okay.
He was dead.
All right, so
what is this dude talking about?
Yeah, he was dead.
Okay, I know what I'm talking about. Here's the first play. Can we see this? LeBron says, okay, I'll take this at the end of the clock, and it hits the side of the backboard. Not cool, not the greatest shot I've ever seen. Here it is off the side of the backboard. That's your shot to tie.
The dude's getting the ball in his hands.
Then here we go again. LeBron goes, he says, finally, I'm going to drive this basketball. Jamal cuts him off at the pass and gets his hands on the ball. And then Aaron Gordon gets his hand up and blocks the shot. Okay, so 2 shots to tie, and neither of them touch the rim. It's LeBron bleeping James.
First of all, they forced him from a defensive standpoint to his left.
They did.
Okay, sliding somebody in the middle when you got the Joker standing right there. Okay. So you got 3 people clouding him. He could not kick back out to Anthony Davis slide because you're surrounded by 3 people, Skip.
Okay.
Stop.
Hey, Michael Jordan's going to make that shot.
Stop.
Go up and make the shot.
Skip, I don't want to be this guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to be this guy, Skip. But there's 9 feet tall dudes standing there. It's hard to get a shot off when you got these big bodies and they're closing in on you
I don't
to be
think
able
Aaron
to
Gordon
kick.
is taller than LeBron James.
But when you got a defender like that on you, and you have Joker standing there, then you have somebody, then you had, who was the third guy? It was the third. Murray sliding to you. It's almost virtually impossible.
All right.
To make that pass.
Okay. Well, you don't need to make a pass. Just make a shot.
It's virtually impossible to make that shot.
Pull up and make a 10-foot jumper.
So now you want him to pull up. You want him to drive, but now you want him to pull up. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Right. If he passes it, he's wrong. If he shoots it, he's wrong. If he misses it, he's wrong. Only thing he can do is make it.
But you do know that altitude is an issue up in Denver.
I think there's some mythology going on there.
You know, because Phoenix Suns, you know, they went to Denver. I'm just saying, there's a reason. There's a reason.
Enough of that for now. I have a feeling we're going to be talking a whole lot about LeBron James on the show in the coming months.
I can't believe, Skip.
Up next, could this be the year for the Dallas Cowboys? I got a feeling.
No, it's not. We'll just go.
How about them boys?